here. So I'm going to bring up my friend Rebel TV. Hey Rebel.
Hey Mike.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good. It's nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, you too. Always.
Well, thank you. Your microphone sounds amazing right now.
Really?
Did you get something new?
No, I brought it closer.
There you go. Yeah, no, you're like 5x5, man.
Okay, good. Now I'm trying to set up the studio with cameras and everything. So,
Good.
oh yeah, maybe I removed a lot of stuff from the room. That could be it.
A little less echo.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried to put up the camera for this, but I sucked. So I can get it to work on the phone, but I can't get it to work with my webcam. I don't know why. So
I'll tell you, I spent about 40 minutes trying to figure out the audio settings on OBS to make that video I made that was like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I saw that too.
Yeah, it's just like, and you click something, and then you got to remember where it was, and then you click it back, and you're like, okay, where was that thing? And it's just so I'm with you.
I was setting all that up yesterday, and my son he was sitting right next to me, and I was starting swearing on my tablet, because it didn't want to do what I wanted to do. And all of a sudden he just came over and he just swiped down the setting screen, and he just pulled this and said, "Dad, if you have this problem, you just do like this, and you do this, and you see when you pull it up, it applies automatically." And I was like, "Yeah, I knew that."
I was just testing you, young man. That's cute.
He knows more about that stuff than I do.
Oh, they're hardwired, buddy. They're hardwired. Yeah.
Well, it's all about focus, right? They have a lot. They focus more on what the tablet is not important to me, but it is to the kid. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you learn what you like, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like to talk, but I don't like to set up the technique.
Right, all technical nonsense that goes with it.
Yeah. So yeah, you got less mask now. That's good to hear.
In the supermarket, I was stunned. I was so surprised today.
Yeah, we don't. I see some, but they're fine between. We have some on the trains now. They're all wearing exempt signs and are young people. Everybody above 30 is still soundly asleep. So, yeah. It's the same shit. Really, it's just getting into the back of the minds of people instead of in the front of their mind. So
right, and I think there's an evolutionary process for people.
Yeah.
For most people, I should say.
Yeah,
From speaking with you, you got evidence, and then you read some things, and then you learned about it, and then you thought about it, and you made a decision pretty danged fast about this thing.
Yeah, I knew before it started, Mike.
Well, exactly right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and
so I was ready. I've been waiting for something like that that hit us here last year. I've been waiting for something like that for 3 years. So I knew it was coming. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but I knew that was a big play coming real soon. And so I was kind of ready all the way.
Right, so it wasn't a big step for you to put two and two together.
No, I've made all the thoughts, but it still is a big step. You still have to hardwire your body and your mind to this new situation that you're in. And
right.
As you're seeing, it took me by surprise emotionally. So yeah, we'll learn from this, and I'll be much more ready for the next one.
I can tell you will be, but part of what I was getting at with that was, yeah, you went through something. We all went through some things. We all struggled at some level and had some nonsense. But
yeah.
Imagine for people that had never considered it as even a possibility.
Oh, it's way easier for them, Mike.
Well, it's easier for them to just throw up their thing and do this, but
they don't see it like you and me. They don't see the deception. They just see, oh, it sucks, but I have to do it. That's it.
Right. Yeah. And they just like, okay, well, this is what we're doing now.
It's gonna blow past, just like everything else, and we're gonna go back to this new normal. And
so that's an interesting thing. No, that's totally interesting. And if I'm hearing you correctly,
yeah, you did.
they didn't have nearly the emotional turmoil, nearly the thought process, nearly the anger, nearly the angst, nearly the frustration. They didn't have any of that stuff, really.
No. Oh shit! I have the alarm now, Mike. Just
oh, there you go. You got to get up for work soon.
Yeah. So that was.
I like that song. I wonder if you could drop that song link in the chat. I like her voice.
Yeah, maybe. If it's on the phone, I can't put it on my computer.
Okay, that's right. But so they didn't have any of that nonsense that we went through.
No, I think they were expecting chaos. Those in power, they want to use this to really rattle the whole world. And then yeah, you're right. They didn't get the reaction they wanted. They wanted a lot more. That's why you have police pushing in big states like the US, Australia, and the UK. You see, those are the ones on the cameras. Those are the ones on the news. So that's why they've been trying to push people. And they do that with all those scary scenes. Isn't it amazing that all you see on mainstream television is the mayhem that demonstrators do?
Right.
You never see the peaceful. You never see the 50,000 walking down London streets holding
Right.
sign.
Yeah.
You never see those. You just see the one guy that throws something or do something, and the police jump him. So
Getting the shit beat out of him. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's a reason why we're shown that, because they want us to hate the police. They really want us to jump and do something.
Right. So so you're very wise, and I'm going to pick your brain about something that I'm not sure of. Is it because humans are genuinely much kinder than the system makes us think, or are we much more docile and we didn't have that big thing?
No, definitely the first one. I think war and basically crime and everything is not really in our nature. I don't believe that is human nature. I believe that is something that's bred into us for centuries, and I think I like to think that once we lived all in one big harmony. That's why it's called heaven. It's just turned sour somewhere.
Right.
I think we're already living in both hell and heaven at the same time. I think this used to be heaven, and somewhere along the lines, we took a bite of that apple, and here we are.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you look around the place, it looks like heaven.
Yeah.
If you turn the volume down on what the mind says and what people say and the TV and all that stuff, and you just go out in nature and you just look around, this place is heaven.
Yeah, it is. It's just people, Wherever there's people, there's mayhem. Whatever there are trees, there's peace, and that's just I spend a lot of time in the nature with me and my kids, so that's my escape, and you when you just feel that peace you get out there, you just say, why am I living in the city?
Right. Well, because they made all the good land unaffordable, and they claim the government owns it, right?
Yeah, basically we don't have land much.
Yeah, so where are you going to go get a piece of land?
Yeah. Well, I've already thought about that, I like to go to northern Finland and get a piece of land up there, because up in Lapland you can still buy very cheap land, vast, with a lot of acres in it. So yeah.
Can you feed yourself on it? Can you make a living on it?
Yeah, it's called reindeers.
Oh, sweet. No, I've seen documentaries about Laplanders, and they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But buddy, you're gonna be cold like all the time.
Oh, hey, I'm a Viking.
So you're prepared.
Yeah, that is my exit plan. Actually, I have a spot picked out and everything.
Oh, sweet.
So if everything goes to hell, I know a place up there. So I've been there twice. It's an abandoned house. Well, only like 400 miles from the North Cap.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not mine, but it is an abandoned what do you call it, farm
Okay.
up there. So I know if everything turns to shit, I'll go up there.
You have access to it.
Yeah, I know where the key is and everything. So
Oh, sweet. So you got an escape route.
yeah, I do.
Good for you. 'Cause
Always.
you have babies you need to take care of.
That's
You know, it's funny. You just said that how they have cheap land up there. Alaska still has places where, if you're willing to brave the weather and you're a United States citizen, according to their stuff, you can go up there and you can. They don't still have a homestead program, I don't think, but it's dirt cheap, like pennies an acre.
Yeah.
Because it's full of ice, and good luck. How you gonna, who knows how you're gonna make it, but it's still possible. And I bet that's the case in like Russia with Siberia and some of the outlying big nations. Everybody else who's in Europe, in France, in England, all these places, they have made it so you kind of can't do that.
Yeah. Well, northern Finland, as I'm speaking of, is kind of our Alaska. Yeah, in the north. So
Right.
So it's the same thing as you have Alaska over there. We have a place to run to there. I think that's part of the plan. I think it sells for a penny for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, I think they wanted to see a way out. They don't. I think you and I are not that special, Mike. I think there's a lot of people seeing what we're seeing. You know, a lot of people are keeping quiet. A lot of people don't have the courage, but there's still much more people awake than they led us to believe. So
Totally agree. Completely agree.
And I think they want those people to have a place to run to. You know.
That's interesting. That could be.
Yeah, because they don't want to fight millions of people. You know?
No, you're right.
No,
You're exactly right.
But if they can hunt them out of town in an isolated place, that would be the next best thing, right?
Just go do your stuff over there and let us have our new world order, and we won't screw with you, and you won't screw with us.
Exactly, and
that kind of deal.
And a city breeds much faster than a village does. So they'll breed us out that way. They'll have their little echo chambers in here that just produce the propaganda, and everybody will be in the system, and we will be the zombies trying to get in and steal their stuff.
And I tell you, I think there's something really to that, because when I was thinking about it today after the supermarket, all these systems and all these things are just instituted by people.
Yeah.
They're just dumb people, just like you and I. And so if I were in charge of a central bank and I were pulling this nonsense about over a country, I would do everything in my power to not let them know. But if they found out, you would try to neutralize the ones that found out and say, okay, here's your $1 million for your thing in your arm, and go over there and go away. But I'm still going to do my stuff, because they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight us. That's for sure.
Yeah, and especially over there in the States, I think they're afraid of you.
We have a lot of guns.
You have more guns than the army, man. So that's the problem. They don't
brother.
have. Yeah. Mine lies over there. You just can't see it.
Right on my hip. Yeah, we have a lot of guns. So yeah, you're right. Way more than the army and military.
This is only on gas, but I have mine too.
I hear it. Yes. 9 or 45?
Beretta.
Okay. 17?
9. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, you're right, though. The United States civilians have more arms than the military and the police combined by twice.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a stalemate. right?
Yeah. So where do you think that fence comes in that Trump is building all around you?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
It's
You
not to
can't
keep
get
the
out,
Mexicans
people.
out. It's to keep you in.
Yes, it is.
If you want, you know, take a country like that, you need to guard the borders. You know, and
Yep.
I think that's where that war comes in play.
Don't
'Cause,
let us loose. Don't
yeah,
let us
yeah,
loose.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they can guard the wall just like they did with Cuba and. uh, Remember the movie Escaping Los Angeles, Escaping New York?
Escape from New York. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, remember that one with Slate Plissken?
Well, and I tell you, that's one thing that I love to talk with you about and speak with you and hear your perspective, because you are not in the U.S.
No.
and you have very little U.S. bias.
Yeah.
For a U.S. citizen, I have very little U.S. bias also, but I like to hear that when you say, well, why do you think they're putting a wall around your country, guys? It's not to keep people out. And I said that 2 years ago, and they looked at me and they're like, why would they want to keep us in?
Yeah.
I said, because they want to kill us. They don't need us anymore.
No, they don't want to mess with you. They just want to guard their borders and build a wall around you and keep you in there. U.S. is going to be like, you know, Escape from New York. It's going to be one big isolation
penal colony. Yeah. And we'll keep growing food, and we'll keep working, and we'll keep producing things.
And they even already build all the FEMA camps in it. They're actually not hiding it very well with the Walmarts and the FEMA camps and all that shit.
For sure.
It's right in your face. It's like, you remember the story with the guy with the flute just picking up all the rats?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the feeling I get, you know. You know, they're just playing their flute, and everybody's just jumping and say, yeah. And all the rats go to the river, right? Remember?
And they all, yes.
They're all drowned.
Yes. Well, and I will tell you, I've often wondered why people were born where they were born. And I kind of look at this whole experience as a spiritual experience. And somebody born in India, in Bombay in 1995, has challenges and benefits and drawbacks, and somebody born in Colorado in 1967 has the same things. And for a long time, it felt like the people born into the United States had the better deal. It truly felt like that, because I'd look around and I'd see things. But now, when you mention that and the way we've been going for the last 18 months,
yeah,
I think we may have had the better deal up front, but the cost is going to be much greater.
You always put out an Easter egg if you want people to gather, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yep. So it's just the bait and the trap, you know.
Come to America, land of the free, right?
Yes, exactly. You know. And it's a good way to. I'm sorry.
No, I'm glad you're doing this with me, because it's stuff I've wondered about.
To buy out those who are able to see. If you are in India and you see the world's problem, but you can come to America and get a good life, you know, then you actually bought that guy.
You own his ass.
Yeah, his integrity, his pride, and all that. You own that shit. And he's gonna be compliant like everybody else. So it's a good. Remember, those who see right through this are the strong ones.
Right.
That is people with courage. That is people who are ready to stand up for themselves. That's people with honor and pride. You know, that's the people that are not having it. You know, and what better way to draw in all the strong people than to say, if you're strong enough, you can get whatever you want.
Right. Yeah, if you're willing to step over your brothers and sisters,
exactly,
and the other natural creatures in the world,
yeah,
then you can have that, right?
Yeah, and they kill the humanity in you. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So what if you're born here and you don't do that? Do you still have some semblance
then
of
you are a
humanity?
lovely person like you, Mike.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah, because you know what? I have to be totally honest. I'm the first half of my life, I was anti-America. I really was. I really didn't
Hey,
like
understandable.
what you stood for, and but then I went there. I went to Jersey. I went to Missouri once. In Missouri, I met a very nice couple of people, and they were not at all as I expected.
Right.
They were even better than my countrymen. That's the
'Cause
problem.
You thought, yeah, you kind of thought we were all bloodthirsty assholes and
No, I thought
oppressive son of a
Yeah.
bitches.
no, I didn't. I thought you were like you didn't care. You were careless, careless people.
Spoiled brats.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't care about others.
That was the picture I got.
Rich, filthy, naughty Americans who didn't give a shit about anybody.
Yeah. That
Wow.
was the picture, but that totally changed.
Well, you went to the Midwest and you found some good people.
Yeah, I did in Jersey too. I was in Jersey for 8 months. That was a good story. You never heard that one? You have to hear
I
that
have
one
not. Do
someday.
you have time or do you have to get ready
Of
for
course,
work?
always. I went to Jersey with nothing at all, and I lived in downtown Jersey as the only white people, the only white man. I was
Right.
in an area with 2 million people. I was at the end of St. Elizabeth on Fenwick Street. I don't know how well you are in Jersey,
no idea
but
where that is.
it's across the tunnel, the Hudson River, and it's 4 kilometers from Newark Airport.
Okay.
So
That I know. I
Yeah.
know where that is.
yeah, so that I made a plan. It was actually a bet I had with a buddy. A buddy, he said that I wouldn't last because we were talking about the poor areas in the United States, and he said I wouldn't last 3 months over there. And I said, of course I can. And yeah, I said that's a bet, and I took $1,000 and my plane ticket, my return ticket, and my passport, and I put it in a box at Newark Airport. When I was done doing that, I just walked down to Newark City with $100 in my pocket and tried to live there for 3 months. So
And how long? How many months did you make it?
4.
Nice.
And
So
I'm
you
gonna-
exceeded.
actually, I could have stayed. I had a place to stay. I had a job after 4 months. I was then going back and forth, to New York. So I was in the States for 8 months totally.
Nice. And you met people. I'm guessing you met people who wanted to support you
No,
and help you and
not
guide
in
you.
Jersey.
No.
No, not in Jersey.
Oh.
Actually, it took me 5 weeks just to have a conversation with those who lived there, because
Gotcha.
I was white.
Right.
And that's not profound in the area I was in. So
No. Right. I get that. But, that's interesting. So, how did you survive that? How did you find a place to live and get a job when nobody would talk to you?
courage.
Okay.
If you have
There you
courage,
go.
that's the key. I was low on money. I've used my money. The first 2 weeks I lived by, viaducts and highway bridges and stuff like that. I was just sleeping under those for 2 weeks, and just living off the food I bought. So
Right.
the first 2 weeks I was basically homeless over there, and after that I had to get money. I was on $8 and I had to get some money, and I walked past a place called Jimmy's Hand Car Wash, and that was like 5 African Americans outside, and I said no. I walked past it, but then I said, fuck it, I need money.
I'm going back. Yep.
Yeah, and I turned around and I went in there, and just picked up my curds and walked to the biggest guy I could find with the chain around his neck and said, I need a job. I need to earn some money. And he said, really? I said, yeah. Okay. But then you have to talk to that guy. And he pointed at this 70-year-old dude sitting in the corner.
Smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, that was Jimmy. Yeah.
Kind of hunched over.
Yeah,
wrinkled black face.
That was not much in his attitude at all.
Right.
He
Didn't say 5 words to you.
No, he was like Scarface.
Yeah.
I went to talk to him, and he said, "What do you know about washing a car?" And I said, "I thought I've washed a car many times in Denmark. So how hard can it be? You just wash it."
Right. So soap and water, Jimmy. Soap and water, brother.
Apparently not, because I found out there's a whole system to do that shit. It's almost an education in itself. So he said, "Okay, well, we put that to the test," and he had one of his employees pull in his own SUV, and he asked me to wash it. I said, okay. And I started washing it and, spraying water on it. And I saw everybody just stopped and looked at me. This white dude in downtown Jersey. I was like, oh my God.
I love this story. I'm so glad we found our way here. Please keep going.
Yeah. And they started laughing. They basically started laughing at me, and but look at the white dude.
Check out. No, dang it, other way. Oh, this way. Okay, that way. Check out the white guy.
Yeah.
Trying to wash the car, has no clue.
And I did everything wrong, and then I just tried to play it funny, just making a parody out of it, because I could see that everything I did was a wrong move.
Right.
So no matter what I did, I would lose. And when I was done watching it, he said, "Yeah, we kind of knew. No white dude can wash a car."
Okay, how old were you at the time? How old were you?
I was 21.
Okay, so you were young and white, and okay.
I was big back then. I was a bulky guy. So
yeah, but you were 21, so
I was 21. Yeah,
the muscles don't mean much if you're 21. So then what happened? So they said, okay, you can't wash a car. White guys can't wash cars.
Yeah. So he said, "You still want a job?" I was expecting to get thrown on the street, But he said, "Do you still want a job?" I said, "Yeah." All right. Everybody here is paid by the vehicles they do. No, they paid by the day or the hours. They had special arrangements. But he said, in your case, you get paid by vehicle, because you're too damn slow.
Yeah, and you're horrible.
Yeah. And then he pointed to a guy called Leroy, and he said, "You get $5 a car, and you have to, and Leroy will show you how and teach you the system and how you do it, and you give him $1 out of those 5 until you learn." So, that was the deal. Yeah. So that was kind of my ticket in, because at that point I haven't talked to anybody there. Everybody's just walking past me. Nobody wants to talk to the white dude. It's like second nature. They don't want anybody to see that you're the guy standing there talking to the white dude.
Right.
And
you were down to $8.
Yeah. I had to do something.
You had no choice,
and actually,
right?
That was my ticket in, because that courage I found that was what broke the ice. And I spent like the next 5 weeks with Leroy. He's teaching me how to do this, and I'm not earning much. This is December.
And you're still living outdoors?
At this point, I'm living in a shed I found, and just 2 miles away from Jimmy's Hand Car Wash.
Okay.
I'm living there with 4 other guys.
And still really cold and shitty and dirty.
Yeah, it's very
I
shitty.
gotcha.
You know, it's more the work. Imagine standing. There's no heat in Jimmy's Car Wash, and it's
Right.
all open. There's a port in each end, and you just stand there in blistering cold, washing cars with your hands, dipping your hands in warm water and up in the cold.
Right.
It sucks. You know, it really sucks. It's a shitty job. And I made like, if on a good day, I made $20 a day.
Okay.
So.
And what year was this? This was about 15 years ago?
Yeah, it's late 90s.
Okay, got it. 97, 98, 99.
Yeah, in 98.
98. So $15 a day. Taco Bell probably would cost you about $4 for a meal. So you could feed yourself based on what you were working on, and those $2 went to the shed. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So I did that for a while, and kind of became friends with Leroy. He kind of
I'm sure.
Me.
Yeah.
So I'm a likable guy when you get to talk to me. And Leroy, because everybody else didn't like me. Nobody else in Jimmy's Car Wash wanted me there.
Or nobody would talk to you.
Yeah, I took business.
They ignored you. Yeah.
It was not about being white. It was just about business.
Right.
I was hawking 5 or 6 cars a day that they wanted. You know,
there's one more guy stealing our money. Right.
Yeah. So they didn't want me there, but Leroy's he liked me. So he asked me one day if I had a place to stay, and I told him I was sleeping at the shed. And he said, you can come to the shelter with me. There's a shelter 2 blocks away, and he said that's where a lot of the guys here sleep at night. I said, oh, all right, let's do it. You know, so I went there, and that's the most horrifying moment of my life.
Going to a homeless shelter in New Jersey in 1998 would be the most horrifying moment of my life as well.
But that I didn't expect that. You know, when I came there was a door with a little hole in it, just like you have the back door of a bar or something. And he knocked on the door, and this guy looked out and he said, "Hey, Leroy, who's the white dude?" And Leroy tried to explain that I wanted a room, and he just looked all funny and said, "Come on in." And we went to his office, and in that office there were 4 guys, all looking like gangsters, you know, sitting in the windows and on the chairs, and just questioned me about everything.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Where'd you come from?
Exactly.
Why are you talking to Leroy?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing in America?
Yeah. And he said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm here to sleep." No. What are you doing here? He said. I said,
Okay, I lost a bet. I lost a bet.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I was not sure what he meant by this at that point, you know.
Right.
So I said, "I'm here because I have nowhere else to go," you know. And he took no. Then he took me by the arm and dragged me outside the front door, and he just waved his arm and pointed at New Jersey. "No, what are you doing here?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I got it, and I said, and I pulled his leg. I gave him a story that I was a writer and I was here to write a book.
Boom.
Poverty and stuff like that, you know.
Pulled that one out of your ass, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, I hope we get to meet in real life in person someday. Thank God, I love you. Go ahead, keep going. I'm sorry.
And this guy, he didn't believe a word I said. You know, I was speaking for like 10 minutes. I had a bag, a sports bag with a European map on the side. And he asked me where I was from. I said Denmark. And there's a town in Jersey called Denmark. I didn't know that. So he said, Denmark, New Jersey? And I said, no.
Copenhagen, Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark, like in Scandinavia. No, I don't know where that is. Then I took the map on my back and I showed him. But there was no borders on it. So I showed him Denmark, and he said, "Are you seriously? That's just something sticking out of Germany," he said. So yeah, he didn't believe a word I was saying. He didn't believe my story, which was cool because it was a lie. and he said, "You can have a room." And I was like, "Oh my god, I think I'm going to survive anyway."
Right.
And he said, "I know Leroy told you it's $30 a week, but for you it's 50. And then you can ask me why."
Okay. You're like, okay.
I almost didn't, but he was actually putting it out there. So I said, "Okay, why?" And he said, "It's because I don't believe anything of that story you just told me for the past half hour. So I have to go around and watch you for 24 hours a day. That's why it's $50." And couldn't argue with that.
Right, and you're like, oh, should have just told him the fucking truth.
He thought I was from the, what do you call it? The social office.
Oh yeah, social workers.
Because they get money to run the place.
Right, and he thought you were checking up on him.
Yeah, he thought I was a social guy coming there to check up on them. And
Right.
so he didn't believe anything. He was sure I was coming from the state or something like that.
And I wish you could have told him, look, I haven't been fucking washing cars for 6 weeks to come get a room to be part of social services. I would have just showed up at your door and give you bullshit. Leroy's been busting my ass making me wash cars the right way, which is really hard to do because cars are not easy to wash.
Yeah.
If you do them right, they're not easy to wash.
No, it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's super hard, and that's why I never washed mine because fuck that, it's hard. Yeah. But Leroy has been busting my ass, mister. The thing that I was, and I love this story, so if you have more, I want you to keep going. But before you do, when you were talking to Jimmy and he was going to hire you or he wasn't going to hire you, I wished he was on the stream with us right now because I want to ask him, in 30 years of you owning that car wash, how many white guys with an accent ever came in to get a job?
I can answer that one.
The answer is one, I bet.
Yeah, it is. Leroy
That's amazing.
Leroy has been there for 20 years, so he's never experienced it. So
I love that.
Yeah. But basically, I got a room, and it all took off from there. But there was 33 people in that shelter. There was 33 rooms. And except for Argentinian guy, they were all Afro-American.
Right. Or black. You can call them black on my stream. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't do that.
They call themselves black.
Yeah, I know. So I was kind of... They called me Snowflake. But nobody wanted to talk to me.
Really?
Nobody. And I wasn't allowed in certain places, especially on Sundays when there was when there was football, when there was an NFL on the screen.
Right.
I wasn't allowed in the TV room.
Oh.
Yeah. I went there to see it because I like NFL, and he said no. There were some dudes from outside. There were 4 badass dudes from outside sitting in there. And I was like there for 5 minutes, and he turned around and he saw me, and he just said, "No, hell no!" And he just turned around and he didn't push me, but he kind of with his hands drove me back. Yeah, he hit the door, hit the street.
Get the fuck out! Yeah.
You're not allowed here Sundays. He just said, and he kicked me out. And it went past for a couple of weekends. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So they didn't like me very much, but I found another way with courage. On the flight, I bought 2 sticks of Camel, the cigarettes. I was smoking at the time.
Yeah.
I bought 2 sticks of Camel, so I have 20 packs, and they knew that. So they knew that. So when they met me in the hallway, they asked me for a smoke. I was cool enough, and they actually have enough respect for me. So when I gave him a smoke, you know, they stood there and smoked it with me and talked
Instead
to
of
me
just
while they were smoking the smokes, you know. So they were not assholes. They didn't just take the smokes and walk off, you know. I was good enough for that moment. So I kind of, that's my ticket, you know.
I wished I would have known you back then because I would have told you to buy menthols.
Oh, okay.
all the brothers like menthols.
Yeah,
It's so
they
crazy.
didn't care. Yeah, they had none. So mine were better
Cigarette's a
than.
cigarette, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you were basically you put yourself in prison basically
Yeah, I've
because
been doing
the
that my
story
whole
I'm
life.
hearing, yeah, but the story I'm hearing is the story that I know from two convicts who have been to prison, one state, one federal, and the rules are the same, the scenario's the same, the acceptance level's the same. If you're the guy with cigarettes, you're good for that time until
Yeah.
you don't have cigarettes and then they shank your ass.
I really haven't thought about it, but yeah, I think actually that could be the mentality because I thought
Just
it
like
was
American
weird.
prison.
I thought it was weird that they were giving me peace of mind and they were giving me allowed. I was allowed to talk to them while I was smoking. Maybe it is some kind of a Christian gesture. I don't know.
It's an American prison gesture, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you pony up the cigarettes, they'll be your buddy because they know they can go get one next time. But the
Yeah.
day you don't have them, get ready for the shank.
Yeah.
You're going to be in the
And they
infirmary.
always took two. They always
yeah.
took two. Always
One
two.
for now, one for later.
Yeah. When you gave them a cigarette, they put it behind the ear and you say, "Do you have one for now?" You know, they always did that.
Right.
And if I didn't give them the second one, they wouldn't talk to me. So, yeah, that was basically it. You know.
That's incredible. I mean, that's such an amazing story.
Yeah. So I started to use that. I had a shirt, you know, with a breast pocket in it. So I put on my shirt and put a pack of cigarettes in the breast pocket, so everybody could see that I was walking around with cigarettes.
They know you're holding, yeah. They know you're holding.
Yeah. Because it doesn't mean nothing to me, you know. But it was my way in, you know.
And you were literally 21 years old.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I've always respected you. I've always appreciated your point of view. I've always looked forward to the times we get to speak. Hearing this story, dude, you're like next level. That's
I have a lot of stories.
that's amazing. No, that's fucking amazing. So 8 months in the U.S.
Yeah, 8 months back and forth. After 4 months, I was able to live there.
Wow.
I had a place to stay. I earned a lot of money. I could save money. So
You actually could have just stayed in New Jersey and lived a life.
I could if I wanted
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I got there and I worked my way in. When I left there, I had a lot of friends. Most of them were my friends.
Right.
So they started to respect me along the way.
So where'd you go next?
Oh, what do you mean next? In
Jersey
the story,
was to
in
the
this story?
Jersey. Yeah, was Jersey to the Midwest or was?
No, the other one was a different trip.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So you went back home and you
Yeah,
beat the shit out of the guy that talked you into coming out to New Jersey.
but it was amazing when I got back home. You know, when I got back home, that's where all this rebelness started. That was when I came home from Jersey, because I didn't give a shit about anything. There was nothing in my country that could threaten me any more than I've been through the last 8 months. You know, so.
Amen. Yep.
So I just started seeing everything differently because I had no fear, I had nothing, you know, and yeah, everything just turned from there. That's where it all started for me. All this, I wasn't a conspiracy guy back then, but I started to be this rebel that I am now, just walking the red light, don't caring about anything, you know.
Bingo. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Well, and can I share a story with you? Do you have time,
Yeah,
or do you
sure.
have to go to work?
Yeah, I have 10 minutes, then I'm off.
Okay, it'll be quicker than that.
Yeah.
So I was 15 years old, and I saw this thing on television where they actually had a stuntman school in California. And I wanted to be a stuntman ever since I saw that first stuntman movie. I'm like, that's what I want to do with my life. That would be so fun. And so I went to my parents and I said, okay, so there's a stuntman school and I have to go to California when I'm 16. And they're like, no fucking way. You're not ready. No, you can't do it. I'm like, oh, dang it. So at 17 years old, from that point forward, I just did crazy shit. I used to jump out of trees. I jumped off a 60-foot spillway at the local dam with a friend of mine. I rode on the side of an automobile, Volkswagen Bug, on the running boards. And I used to do that a lot. I did it like probably more than 50.
At a racetrack.
Well, yeah. I did it probably more than 50 times, literally. Yeah. And then on the 51st time, I fell off. And we were going 35 miles an hour. And I'm not sure what that is in kilometers, like 50 or something. But I tore up my shoulder. I smashed my head on the concrete. I had a concussion so bad that I threw up for 2 days. My mom had to wake me up every 2 hours to make sure I was alive. I was unconscious twice. Once before they put me in the ambulance, and then in the ambulance I woke up and I told the guy I gotta throw up, and he said, well, tell me when, and I threw up on him. And then I woke up at the hospital and they were scrubbing my shoulder from the rocks, and the doctor's like, you should be dead, you better change your life, what were you doing on that car, and all the bullshit. And then I passed back out, and then I woke up at home, and I remember all of it. And my mom literally didn't talk to me for like a month. She was so pissed off. I would talk to my older sister, and she would talk to my mom, and then my mom would talk to her, and it'd come back to me. And at school, I was like a superhero. They're like, I can't believe you fell off a car and you're alive. And what it did for me was what it did for you when you survived your New Jersey experience. I went back to regular life. I did not give a fuck about anything. Are you kidding me?
Exactly. That's the same feeling.
I faced the Reaper.
Actually, that's exactly the same mindset.
Yeah, it didn't take me. So if it didn't take me, while I'm in this body, while I have this moment of experience, I could do any fucking thing I want. I never stop at a traffic light. No. If I'm walking. If there's no cars coming, I go.
Yeah, of course.
I don't wear my seatbelt, and they say, well, it's the law, and it says, like, fuck that. You're not telling me to wear my seatbelt. I don't do it. I haven't filed an IRS form since 2003 because fuck them. They steal what they can from me. I'm not giving them anymore. Fuck that. And it's so cool to me that you went through it in a non-physically damaging way as far as we know, but that was a huge spiritual and emotional growth period for you. And I went through it from a physical damage, wake up in the hospital kind of thing. But we come out the other side to where I am a free sovereign body, and none of your nonsense means anything to me.
Yeah.
And we still have to try to live within this system where they're doing what they're doing and they're crazy. And that's why today when I saw the disproportionate number of people unmasked in the supermarket, I was like, oh, fucking thank you. Thank you, Creator God, for giving these people the common sense. When the governor says don't wear it, they quit wearing it. I was just like, oh, I was so happy. So, anyway, sorry.
It's the same mindset. It's exactly the same mindset.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. No.
And unless a person's been through it on some level.
And do you know what happened, Mike?
Go ahead.
You took charge of your life. That's what.
Yes, I did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the first time in your life, you took charge. You said, "From now on, I'm in control. I'm at the steering wheel."
I did.
Yeah.
And as a side note, before that, I always thought I was going to be an attorney. And me and a friend joined up for this. It's like an explorer program for young people that want to be an attorney, and they take you to their meetings and they teach you how to be a lawyer and all this bullshit. After I healed, I was working on my car, and I'll never forget this. I'm in the driveway and I'm fixing something in the engine, And my friend Chris calls me and he says, "Hey, we got like the Explorer meeting in an hour." And I said, "You know what? I'm not going." And he was mind blown. He's like, "What? You're not going? We've set this up for months. This is our second meeting. They like us. Yeah. They're going to teach us to be attorneys." I said, No, I'm working on my car. I'm not going."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, okay." And we stayed friends. And when his parents passed, I was the first one he told. And and then he did become an attorney, and he's a prominent attorney in Denver. But you're right, and you said it so well. At that moment in time, I took charge of my own life.
Yeah, and it feels good.
Well, and now...
Until now.
Well, no, it still feels good, but it means we have a fight, right?
And now we have to fight for that,
Yeah.
And that's what makes it suck a little.
But you and I are not above fighting.
No.
No, fuck them. They're not. No, fuck them. They're not getting over.
No, they can do whatever they want,
Yes, do your best.
And the more they try, actually, they just push me away. It's like that now. The harder they try, the less I like them, the less I want to do what they say. So.
And the funnier it gets too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because they escalate the nonsense to that place where you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Is this really what you think?"
I've been back and forth 3 times this year, Then it was funny, then it was serious, then it was funny again, then it was serious. It's a roller coaster.
Well, of course, but the only difference is you have babies you have to protect, and I don't.
Yeah, and that's where it becomes serious.
I get it.
If I didn't have my kids, fuck the world. It could burn for all I care.
And I honor that. I honor that with you, like top shelf, brother.
But I can't do that because it's not just about me anymore. So
nope.
And that's the problem.
But it's not. I think problem maybe, but opportunity, because what your children are learning from you, being this way, I think they're so much better off.
Yeah, I like to think so too, but it all depends on how the one turns out, right?
Yeah, time will tell, right? Yeah. Time will tell.
Time will tell, if the world at some point turns around and go the other way, my kids will be so much better off than anybody else. But if we become the world that they want, my kids are gonna fight their whole life. So it's a balance,
Yeah, it is, and I can see that, and I can see, John Connor from Terminator movies.
Yeah,
having to fight your entire life.
Yeah,
it's
not fun. Imagine what we are going through that for an entire life as a kid.
Times 10, times 10.
That's something else,
Yeah.
So I only put the input in my kids when they ask me directly. I never preach to my kids about anything, my beliefs or anything. It's up to them, My son is often coming home and asking me questions from school. I learned this to school today. What do you think about that, Dad? And then he gets my honest opinion. But I'm trying to spare them all this aggravation as much as I can. But at the same time, I try to feed them the truth. So in a subtle way. And,
right. Because why you want to bullshit your children? You don't.
Exactly. I can't do that. If you know me, I can't even bullshit you guys. So how can I bullshit my kids?
Right. Oh my gosh, Rebel TV, this is the best algo call I've ever had, ever.
Oh, I'm glad. So that's not the only trip, but they also have to wait till another time.
Yeah, because you have to go to work. Did you get your lunch packed?
I have to be out the door in like 5 minutes or something.
Did you get your lunch packed?
No.
What?
No. Then I can't go ignore the 7-Eleven guy.
Oh, got it. Okay, fair enough.
So, I never pack anything. I don't even plan ahead when I'm buying groceries. I'm buying groceries from day to day, so I can go to the store 4 times a day just to be an asshole.
Amen. You know what? More power to you. I am so thankful you clicked that link and joined me tonight.
Yeah.
I love this story. I don't watch most of my streams back. What I do is I put it on 2 times and I read the chat because I miss the chat. I don't get to talk to everybody. And so I'll mute it and I'll put it on ×2 and I'll just read the chat for an hour or whatever. But this one I'm actually going to listen back to because that was the great story. Thank you so much for being here.
So thank you for listening, and thank you to everybody in the chat. I know I've been long-winded today, so I'm gonna head out there. Love you all. See you next time.
Have a good day at work, my friend.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, talk to you later.